years when you take most of your expenditures and do the ordering for the year. But we didn't go crazy this year and just encumber everything under the sun. We're starting to do some encumbrances now with the utilities and maintenance. Now that we're seeing the numbers for what the utilities are going to look like so far over the last couple of months. There are some areas that have been pretty much spent. I want to give some credit to the tech department, who doesn't waste any time in using whatever resources are available. And again, there's a few areas that we still are holding back on. Some of them are, we won't use until later on. For example, some of the building maintenance personnel lines that usually we use a lot of during the winter, when we have to call people in to clean out snow and those kind of things. So you're going to see a range from some lines that haven't been used yet to lines that have been completely expended, but I don't see any areas that are going to put us in difficulties at this point. So the good news is for this year, again, I'm not seeing any areas where we would go into deficit. I know the town is saying that they have issues in their budgets, and they would like us to assist them with that. I can tell you that our biggest gamble is always special ed, in particularly the tuitions. There is at least one case that we may change a student's placement and we would see a little bit of money coming back to the district. However, we have another situation that just developed with a student that moved into the district that we're probably going to end up having to pay for some transportation issues. So the savings on the one hand will offset the cost on the other, or at least that's what I'm hoping, so there's a wash there. We may see another student's placement reduced as well. If that happens, we may have some money, but until it happens, I don't want to count the chickens until they're in the roost. So, I have approached the town when they had the departmental meeting, and I explained that it's a lot more difficult at this point to give up funds rather than waiting till later in the year, where you can see that you may be able to, by managing your budget or by seeing which way the special ed goes, you may be able to give some money back to the town. But at this point in the year, it's still very early to give up funds that you may need later on. Like I said, we're trying to work with the middle school to take care of some of the needs in those high number classes. In some cases, if we can't take care of those needs, it may require us to send a student out of district. And if that happens, then any savings that you could see happening during the course of the year will be gone. And we're back to square one. So at this point, I feel comfortable. If you go to the revolving accounts, one of the issues that you see in there is the balances going forward. I want to point out at least a couple of them. One of them is, there it is, school lunch, where we have about $100,000 in there. As you will see later on when we talk about the green projects, in terms of capital plans, I'm allocating, especially if we can build that up a little bit more, I'm allocating some of that funding towards future capital improvements in the lunch facilities, both at the high school and at the middle school. We have some equipment that is extremely old that I know will have to be replaced, and from what Michelle tells me, just one of the ovens is like $30,000. So even though it may seem like we're building a reserve that's fairly substantial, the reason being is because some of these pieces of equipment are over 50 years old. So if they go one day to the next, we'll need a very sizable purchase for the lunch department. And honestly, I don't want to take it out of the regular budget when I know we've been able to put in a little bit of money aside over the last bunch of years. And if we can use that as the way to take care of the capital needs of the lunch program, I'd rather see the money that we collect in lunch go to lunch. And that's pretty much it, unless people have other questions.
Just a brief question. Go ahead.
Mr. Sullivan.
As we're looking at the revenues from the various accounts in preparation for the budget, is there any way we can create, and it may be something that comes quarterly to us, but you know the tool we use is the cover sheet with the 14 core accounts, 14, 16 core accounts in terms of previous year,
in
this year.
the first budget page.
Right.
Yeah.
Can we create one of those with these encumbered totals so we can see in one page where we are versus
The single line item one by one? You mean the summarize?
which we have here. We have
Yeah.
a single line item, but can we just have a summary of accounts?
Yeah, I don't see why not. That shouldn't be a problem.
Because that would give us a capsule of this information. I think it'd be helpful, in particular, as we're going ahead with the budget preparation.
You will still see the revolving accounts separately. Those are not part of the regular budget. They're separated accounts, so they're not part of the budget, and they're created as revolving accounts, so you can take money in and pay money out. So they're not accounts that get funded by the town in that sense. So this one sheet with the revolving accounts, or this one document, you would still get separately. But yeah, we can do it that way.
Yeah, and I'm still trying to get my hand around the revolving accounts, but I'm focusing on the
Yeah.
actual
No, we can do that.
total budget.
In fact, what you will get is when you see the general funds and you have the school and what it's for, regular education salaries, and then you get sped salaries, those are the accounts you're going to see in that summary sheet, and I'll give it